take a look are home against the Texans, at Seattle, then home against the Giants, Redskins, and the Cardinals. That is the schedule. So we will talk about that division, shall we? TJ's back with us, and I need you to answer this question with authority. You can't be on the fence. Will the Cowboys win the division?
I won't try to hedge my bets. Yeah, I would pick the Cowboys to win the division. Start this off. I'm a fan of Tony Romo.
Okay.
I will say that.
Why is that?
As a receiver, I wouldn't mind Tony Romo throwing me the ball.
Oh.
I really wouldn't. I really wouldn't. Because I'm a receiver that's, when I played, I was off of timing and doing things the exact way that the coach wanted, and he seems like if you're a timing receiver, he's going to get you the ball. And so I'm a fan of Tony Romo, I will say that. But the Dallas Cowboys, they have what the majority of teams in the NFL want, a great offensive line. That's what they've invested first-round picks in offensive lines in the past few years, and now it's starting to pay dividends. It's starting to pay off. They went from last year averaging 120 yards rushing per game to, let me find this here, to now they're averaging 168 yards per game. That's a huge jump per game, huge. And so they're able to run the ball. You know they can throw the ball. They got one of the best tight ends in the game. They got one of the best receivers in Dez Bryant. And so as long
Terrence Williams, not bad.
He's not a factor this early in the season, but he will be a factor. But as long as they can run the ball and they have an offensive line, so they will, I would pick them to win the division.
Can you wait a minute? So somebody sitting at this desk said before the season started, the Dallas Cowboys would win this division.
Who said that?
And it was like shockwaves. It was the most outrageous thing.
Someone
and now
down.
a very smart man who really knows his football, who's now coaching and teaching high school football, TJ Houshmandzadeh, just sat here and said the Dallas Cowboys will win the NFC
and he's
East
a very smart
because
man.
Tony Romo is. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
They pick on Romo, man. He's not as bad as people make it seem, man. He really isn't.
Oh, all right.
So that leaves us with what? Stephen A. Smith.
He's sleeping.
Yeah.
Oh, is it my turn? Is it my turn?
Yeah.
You know, listen, man. It's the Dallas Cowboys, man. You know, listen. I'm sorry. Was Tony Romo there last year? Yes or no?
If I recall correctly, yes.
Was he the year before?
Well, he did get hurt before the last game.
I'm not
before the
talking
last
to you.
game.
I'm talking to him. TJ Houshmandzadeh, our guest on the show. Was Tony Romo there last year?
The answer to that is no.
Was he there the year before? Yes or no?
But
No.
Yes,
I'm getting to
yes, let me
Was
answer
he
the
there the year before that? Yes or no?
Yes.
Was he there the year before that? Yes or no?
Yes.
4 straight years the Dallas Cowboys have been out of the playoffs. Last couple of years, was Dez Bryant there? I believe he was. Was Terrence Williams there? I believe he was. Was Jason Witten there? I believe he was. Was DeMarco Murray there? I believe he was. Let me tell you something. I love the offensive line. It's big time. I understand that. But did you notice that DeMarco Murray has run the ball 99 times already?
Oh,
He's on pace to run 400 times this year. It won't happen. They'll have to cut back. You and I both know that. When they cut back, that means that it'll be required upon Tony Romo to throw the ball more. Because I don't think that Dunbar Randall's going to be running the ball that much.
Why not?
I just don't think so. I could be shocked because they've shocked me already with Linehan and those boys giving DeMarco Murray the ball because that's what I've been saying. No one, and see, this is how the problem. You watch the show, you get caught up in the sauce, listening to Skip.
Not at all.
Let me tell you something right now. Nobody is questioning the talent that the Dallas Cowboys have. What we're saying is they are about hype. They are about money. They are about popularity, and at some point in time, it will make them stupid. Not because Linehan's stupid, not because Callahan's stupid, not because Rod Marinelli is stupid on the defensive side of the ball because we know he's not. None of that. It is because Jerry Jones will somehow infiltrate the proceedings. He will get in the way of success. And the accident waiting to happen, that is the Dallas Cowboys, will show up on cue, and they will show you that, you know what, as things change, they always remain the same.
Who's our biggest competition?
That's
the Eagles?
Eagles.
It's the Eagles, right?
Eagles.
So the Eagles go from averaging 198 yards per game.
They've had problems on the offensive line, no doubt.
Or is it that Or is it that Deshaun Jackson is no longer there to keep the safety out the box?
Excuse me. You can say that. You can say that. I don't believe that. I believe the acquisition of Darren Sproles, coupled with Shady McCoy being what he's capable of being, and I think Macklin being back in the lineup after being gone last year, I think offsets Deshaun Jackson being gone.
Darren Sproles, you got to understand football here. Darren Sproles is a running back. When you have a receiver that can blow the top off the coverage on the outside, a safety has to respect that. Whereas Darren Sproles, he's going to come.
Do that?
Not like Deshaun Jackson can.
Well, I'm just saying. I understand that, but can Macklin do that? Yes or no?
He can do it, but not like Deshaun Jackson.
I don't
you don't go from 198 yards through 4 games last year to 87 yards per game this year. It's not all on the offensive line.
I'm not saying it's all on the offensive line.
Yards.
I'm simply saying that to some degree that's had something to do with how Shady McCoy has gotten
of course.
I'm saying you could dip and dunk it to a Darren Sproles who could be formidable, and I do understand what you're saying about that safety, which is going to be incumbent upon Macklin and a Riley Cooper who doesn't have that ability, obviously, to do something about it. But in the end, when you look at the weapons that the Philadelphia Eagles have, I'm not telling you that the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl because I don't think they're good enough. But it doesn't take an Einstein to recognize that you don't need all of that to win the NFC East. I mean, are you kidding me? It's the NFC East. It ain't the NFC. It ain't the NFC West.
I'm telling you, the Cowboys, they have it. They have that offense. When you have that offensive line, you always have games are won and lost. You know, Romo's going to get the credit or the blame. But games are won and lost up front.
I will tell you right now, he can come and sub for me. He can sub for me, y'all.
Yeah, because you don't want
the Dallas Cowboys win the NFC East and Cincinnati ends up, and I think Cincinnati's going to end up being formidable. Look, I'm telling you right now, the way he sounds, it might be Cincinnati and Dallas in the Super Bowl.
I wouldn't take it that far.
I'm telling you right now, I'm not showing up. I'm not showing up. I'm not showing up.
So you want a day off?
He don't want to deal with you.
Super Bowl week.
You're not showing up?
If the Dallas Cowboys ended up doing something as crazy as going to the Super Bowl, I would ask for an unpaid vacation. I'd take the week off.
But
I'm telling you right now, I couldn't take it.
The next 5 games, you will get a real good feel of how good Dallas is.
Oh, how? They got 4 the next 5 at home.
Thank you.
But look, who are they
playing? Only Seattle. You got Seattle.
That's going to be a good test. That's going to be a good barometer to see where they're at.
They're going to get eaten up.
Man.
At Seattle? At Seattle? That's going to be fun to watch. That's going to be fun to watch.
If you can run the ball,
that's the schedule, guys.
You have to keep them honest. That will be a good barometer, a good test for them.
Okay.
The Dallas Cowboys will win 4 of the next 5 games. Now, CJ, I must apologize for the silver-tongued devil that sits across from me because he slickly omitted a key detail about last year.
Oh, now he's accusing me of that.
Yeah. The Dallas Cowboys last year, as mediocre as they were, what is your thing about they are walking pieces of mediocrity?
That's right.
Those walking.
I'm aware that Tony Romo wasn't there for the last game.
He was not there for the last game.
The previous 2 years
by the way, they went into the last game 5-0 within the NFC East. That's pretty good.
Yes.
And with the backup quarterback, Kyle Orton, who's now starting quarterback somehow in Buffalo, but with the backup quarterback thrown into the game against Philly in Jerry World, they hung right in there and barely lost the game on a late Kyle Orton interception. So they were in the ballpark of going 6-0 in the division. That's pretty good. You have to accept that those were building blocks because
you think Dallas is going to go 6-0 this year?
I think they got a shot in the division. You know why? Because they match up well with these teams. They match up well with the Eagles. I don't know exactly why, but they went into Philly when Chip Kelly was starting to fly high, fly like an eagle, and they beat them 17-3 in Philly last year. So I look at this one. Philly has to play at Dallas on Thanksgiving. That's a tough test, man, for Philly.
Philly's going to win that game.
Okay, all right, but then we go to December 14th. That could be a crucial NFC East because it's in Philly, Dallas at Philly. That could be it could be for some marbles.
Is it bad that we're not even talking about Washington or Giants?
No.
Is that
we
bad?
should talk about the Giants.
Talk about the
They're
Giants,
respectable.
Why?
Not Washington. Not Washington.
You think we should talk about Washington?
Who's the Giants quarterback?
Eli Manning.
Is he better than Tony Romo?
I'm sorry. He's got 2 Super Bowl rings.
Man, that team. You better look at that team. That
look
pass
at
rush.
who's talking. You got the audacity. You're the guy that just finished raving about Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton, who hasn't won a playoff game, and you're going to disrespect Eli Manning?
Football's the ultimate team game.
Oh, really? So how come we can't talk about the Giants?
It's ultimate team game.
We brought up the Giants. We said we were willing to talk about the Giants. You say who's their quarterback. Now I bring up the quarterback. You say it's a team. Which one is it? That's your argument. How you going to say that? You're going to rave about Dalton and Romo for disrespect Eli Manning?
If Eli,
really?
If his last name wasn't Manning, would he still be starting?
You know what? You could sit there and say that over the last 2 weeks. Over the last 2 weeks, I'd say yes. Now, the first 2 weeks, I'd say hell no. But my point to you is this. Who are you to talk? You brought up Dalton and Romo. Romo should have been benched years ago. If that's the case, Dalton should be allergic to football after Christmas.
Romo doesn't have the defense that Eli had when they were, man, you got Strahan, Tuck, and you're at all them boys up front. That's why they won them Super Bowls.
I'm saying to you, you can say whatever you want. Eli Manning did something along the way. He was balling.
David Tyree caught the ball off his helmet. Manningham made a great catch.
That's all you've shown is that you watch Skip.
No, I pay attention to football.
That's all you show. Listen, I remember Eli Manning. Did Eli Manning not go into San Francisco and win an NFC championship game? Did he not agree
against Alex Smith?
Atlanta in the postseason en route to it? Did he not go to Green Bay and win there? Does he not have 2 Super Bowl rings? You gonna sit up here next to me on this show and argue with me about Romo and Dalton and then bring up Eli Manning and disrespectful? What is wrong with you? Now, if you said Peyton, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, I got you.
Those guys are the Mount Rushmore right now.
Tony Romo, Dalton.
Whoa, hold on.
What?
Just compare.
Wait, are we talking about the same Eli Manning who has led the NFL in interceptions three times? Three times? Case closed. It's over.
We're also talking about an Eli Manning that has missed the playoffs for the last 5 years, throwing all those negatives. He's still got 2 Super Bowl rings. What do you have? Dalton and Romo.
I mean, I'm right with him. I don't have anything myself.
No, I'm talking about you.
But I'm saying you got to look at that defensive line that he had when they were winning them Super Bowls. Them boys were getting after the quarterback.
Listen, on this show, you don't get to sit there and slip through the. You brought up the Cincinnati Bengals defense, did you not?
Yes, sir.
It didn't stop you from praising Dalton. You brought up all the stuff, the Dallas Cowboys offensive line. You brought up their improved defense. You brought up their running game, but it didn't stop you from praising Romo. But all of a sudden, I bring up Eli Manning. You want to ignore it. You want to bring up everything else and ignore him.
If I'm not mistaken, Eli was drafted in 2004, so this is his 11th season coming up.
2 Super Bowl championships.
Okay. Andy Dalton was drafted in 2010?
Right.
10.
Right.
So he has time.
No. I'm not saying Andy Dalton's a finished. Hold it. Don't change my argument. You ain't Skip Bayless. Why am I going to call you Skip Houshmandzadeh? Listen up. I'm not trying to sit here and say that. I am not saying that Andy Dalton is a finished product. I am not saying he can't play. I know he can play. I know he's got skills. I know he's got time. I'm telling you that thus far, the brother's allergic to winning in the postseason. Don't give me Romo one playoff.
Time out. We got to go to break.
Andy Dalton, my redhead homeboy. I don't know you, but you got to get it done.
We're going to break. You can finish your thought. We may finish.